Hello and welcome to this video tutorial. This one's about the so-called GDPR EU law and cookies. And this General Data Protection Regulation is a regulation in the EU law on data protection and privacy. And when you create and run a website in the EU, your use of cookies has to be in line with that GDPR. We have added a data protection menu where you can select the data protection settings for your website. And now I would like to show you in detail what this feature update is about. So you can find this data protection menu in inCMS in the left menu when you click on Settings and then on Data Protection. With this new menu, we have developed an integrated solution with an information and consent banner. You can enable this banner to inform website visitors about data protection and privacy on your website. You now also have the ability to offer your website visitors the option to enable or disable certain features themselves. This new data protection menu enables you to make all the settings exactly as you like and, if needed, to customize them differently for each feature. By default, all settings are set to enable. This is the same as how it was in the past. Per topic, for example statistics, Google Fonts, use of YouTube videos, etc., you can select your preferred settings. We recommend customers to make their own decisions regarding this topic, as each website is different. First, about the banner and appearance. When you ticking the box Declare, your website visitors will see a banner which gives general information about inCMS data protection and cookies. Under Appearance, you can change the layout of the banner, light or dark, color scheme, position on the screen, etc. Here you can also change the banner text content and the button text. Click on the link Edit Text Contents. You will have tabs to define the text for each of your website languages. In the text you can add a link to, for example, a page or document on your website with your privacy policy. A website visitor will see the banner during his first website visit. When you change the data protection settings, it will be shown again. When you have ticked only the banner Declare tick box, the banner will be very short and simple, giving information on just inCMS. Now about the statistics of Matomo and Pivik. Matomo or Pivik is a website analytics software. inCMS uses this to track info on, for example, the number of visitors of your website. The tool uses anonymized IP addresses and the data is also stored anonymously. Matomo or Pivik is available for all types of inCMS websites. There are 4 options to choose from in the data protection menu. First, enable. Then your website will use the statistical info. Second, enable and declare. Then your website will use the statistical info and your website visitors will be informed about this in the banner. Third, require consent to enable. Then the banner will show statistics in the banner, but with the tick box unticked. Only when a website visitor ticks the tick box will this feature work. Note, with this option your statistics will not be 100% correct, as it will track website visitors who give consent, but it doesn't track website visitors who don't give consent, and you will not know their number. And fourth, disable. Then your website won't collect and store the data and you won't be able to see your website statistics. Old data will still be stored. When you want to delete historical statistical data, click the link Delete all tracked data, but be careful, this cannot be undone and your historical data will be removed permanently. Note, when you are logged into the website and want to test a cookie banner, you will have to do so in an incognito window. The Pivik message will not be shown in a normal window when you're logged in at the same time. This is because your own website visits are not counted in the statistics. Now about the topic fonts and Google Fonts. When you use a Google font, your website connects with Google Fonts and thus with Google servers to display all non-standards fonts correctly. It then loads the required web fonts in the visitor's browser cache. Just as with the statistics, you can choose out of 4 options: enable, enable and declare, require consent to enable and disable. These options will work in a similar way as with the statistics. You can try a setting and then test what the banner looks like and how the website will function. When you use Google Fonts and you have set the font data protection settings to disable, a website visitor will see your website displayed in a default font. If you don't want your website to connect with the Google servers, you can choose a system font, for example Arial. Alternatively, you can download and install a Google font on your website self-hosted. You can go to the corresponding support article in our knowledge base to see more information. Now about third-party contents. In this section you can make the settings for website features that are included in inCMS but provided by or dependent on third parties. YouTube and Vimeo videos, Facebook and Discuss. For each of these features you have 3 options: enable and declare in the banner, and require consent to enable. In the banner, the content will only work when a website visitor has given consent by ticking the relevant tick box. When, for example, you've chosen require consent to enable for YouTube and a website visitor hasn't given consent, your YouTube videos won't be shown. Instead, the visitor will see a gray box with the text YouTube requires your consent to work and a button to the data protection settings. When the website visitor clicks the button, the banner will be shown again. When the website visitor has changed his mind, he can tick the YouTube tick box, click accept, and now the video will be shown. There is no option disable for the third-party contents. In case you would like to disable them, you'd best not add them into your website. Now about global scripts, analytics, etc. When you use, for example, Google Analytics, Facebook Pixel, Google Tag Manager, etc., you will want to add these to the data protection settings too. You can do so under the global scripts part. We recommend you to add all global scripts here, even if you'd like to set the settings to enable, so you can keep a good overview. Once you've added the script here, you don't need to add it to another part of the website anymore. For each feature you have 3 options: enable and declare, require consent to enable. Again, there is no option disable. In case you would like to disable, you'd best not add this feature into your website. To add a script, click on Add and then a menu appears. Under the tab Global Script, you have to enter first a name for the script. Second, regulation, which means if you'd like to enable and declare, or require consent to enable the script. And third, position, if you'd like to add the script to head, body, begin, or body, end. For most scripts, you will have instructions which of these options to use. If not sure, we recommend you to use body, end. There will be another tab for each language. Here you will have to enter first the description. Here you can describe, for example, what data will be saved, why this will be saved, and for how long it will be saved. This text will be shown in the banner the same way as the extra info on inCMS in general is shown. Then second, a code or snippet. Here you need to add the script code in a format like this. Now about custom contents. It might be that you have added custom content through our source code module. For example, if you use a Vistia video or a Google Maps map. Features that require declaration or consent in the data protection banner can be added to the banner using this part of the data protection menu. For each feature you have 2 options: enable and declare, or require consent to enable. When you have a feature on your website using the source code module and you haven't added it here in the custom contents list, it is basically set to enable. It works and the website visitor won't be informed about it in the banner. Again, there is no option disable. In case you would like to disable, you'd best not add this feature into your website. To add a source code module feature, click on Add. A menu appears. Under the tab Custom Content, you have to enter first the name, which means name for the feature. You can choose a name by yourself, for example, Google Maps or Vistia videos. Then second, regulation, if you'd like to enable and declare or require consent to enable. There will be another tab for each language. Here you will have to enter a description. Here you can describe, for example, what data will be saved and why this will be saved and for how long it will be saved. This text will be shown in the banner. If you've chosen the option Enable and Declare, you don't need to do anything else. If you've chosen the option Require Consent to Enable, you will need to do one more thing. Once you have saved the data protection settings, you can go to your web page with the relevant source code module. Now you can either add a module with the required content or edit an existing module. The source code module has now a tab Settings. Under Require Consent to Enable, you can now see a list of names. These correspond to the names you have used when adding topics to the custom contents fields in the data protection menu, for example Google Maps or Wistia videos. Note, it will only show the names of topics with data protection set to Require Consent to Enable. Once you've created data protection settings for a feature or topic in the data protection menu, you can select it in any source code module. This way you can use one topic for several modules. For example, you only have to make the data protection settings for Wistia videos once and can then assign the Wistia videos settings to all your relevant source code modules by selecting this option in the source code editing menu. Now about cookies. inCMS uses only a minimum of cookies, only there and then when it's necessary to run parts of the website. Cookies are used for the login part of member pages to save the logged-in visitor, the pop-up module so a website visitor will not see the pop-up again and again, then timer flexes to save the counter start time linked to the first website visit. The default banner text informs website visitors about this in more general terms. A visitor won't be able to disable these functions as these are required to have the website working well. This is in line with law and regulations. Now about the old EU cookie law module. In the past you could add an EU cookie law module to your website. With this module you would show a banner to inform website visitors that the website uses cookies. A visitor could click on a link to accept or to get more info. This EU cookie law module is no longer needed. Now we have developed the new data protection menu. As soon as you have clicked Save once in the new data protection menu, the old banner will not be shown anymore to website visitors. We still recommend you to delete the module from your website as it's no longer needed. If you have any questions about the data protection menu or the explanation in this video tutorial, please contact our support at swissmemarketing.com. Thank you very much for listening. I wish you all the best. Bye.